Thousands across the U.S. continue to protest after Tuesday's election results. Good evening. I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. This comes after a polite meeting between President-elect Trump and President Obama at the White House today. At least 10 cities have demonstrators marching through the streets, including San Francisco, New York, and Chicago. Most of the protests have been peaceful, although there were a few arrests in New York and California. Meanwhile, about 100 students held a solidarity event on MU's campus tonight. They expressed concerns about racial and religious discrimination following the election. They held candles and wrote messages on note cards. The event was not organized by an official organization. A student told KOMU she organized the event because, quote, she wanted to and could.
Last night, we heard from people who say they fear Trump's presidency. Tonight, we hear from some of the voters who helped elect him. KOMU 8's Abby Breidenbach spent the day in Cooper County with some of his supporters, and she joins us now to tell us why they're eager for change. Abby?
Today, while protests were taking place nationwide, the scene here in downtown Boonville could not have been more opposite. It was calm and quiet, and all of the voters I talked to were actually overjoyed that Trump won the presidency. Here in Cooper County, 70% of voters were in favor of Donald Trump. What most excited his supporters might surprise you. Many told me Trump's political experience, or lack thereof, is actually what inspired them to vote.
There's too much crookedness in Washington, and at least Donald Trump will be a new face. He has a chance to save us, save the Supreme Court, save the Constitution, and we needed it.
Other supporters said they admired Trump for his confidence and outspokenness, and some actually said they only voted for him because he was Hillary Clinton's opponent. Reporting live in Cooper County, Abby Breidenbach, KOMU 8 News.
After GOP wins Tuesday night, Republicans say right-to-work legislation will likely pass in Missouri next session. Right-to-work would force unions to give benefits to non-members even if they don't pay dues. Union members say right-to-work will hurt all Missourians.
It affects the whole general public. It lowers the average hourly wage of all people in the state of Missouri.
It's not a rip-off. It's not going to end unions. It's not anti-union. It's for workers to have the choice of joining a union or not joining a union, but still be able to work in the state of Missouri.
Right-to-work supporters say if passed, more businesses will move to Missouri. Marumer says companies look more at tax incentives and work ethics when deciding where to move.
Missourians went to work this week on putting marijuana on the 2018 ballot after they were unable to do so for the past election. 3 different individuals filed for the measure after 3 states, including border state Arkansas, passed medical marijuana initiatives Tuesday. One marijuana advocate says he believes support for weed is rising in Missouri.
Thousands of Missourians who need marijuana for medical purposes, for the relief of pain, spasms, other injuries and ailments are now treated like criminals. They're treated like very serious criminals. That should end.
Medical marijuana fell short on getting onto this year's ballot after thousands of petition signatures were on the wrong form. Opponents have told KOMU 8 in the past marijuana should not be considered medicine since it is not FDA approved. We had a lot of sunshine here in mid-Missouri today, and it's starting to feel a lot more like fall. Let's check in with Kenton to see what this weekend looks like.
Brittany, thank you very much. It is going to be a chilly weekend for us, but very seasonal. But let's talk about a big story for the weekend. It's the supermoon. It's happening Sunday night, heading into Monday morning. It's going to be the largest and brightest supermoon since 1948, and it's not going to be this large or bright for another 18 years until 2034. So let's look at a timeline of this entire scenario. So the moon's going to rise here on Sunday late afternoon, about 4:46 p.m. It's going to be right along the horizon, and that gives it the moon illusion where it looks really big at the horizon. It's also happening right around the same time as sunset, so it's in twilight, so we're likely going to have a little bit of color with this moon as well. And then it's going to be directly overhead as we head towards midnight, and then the moon's going to set as we head into sunrise, so more color here. And this is starting on Monday for a new work and school week right around 6:40 a.m. and again right along the horizon. So an interesting situation there. Make sure to tell your friends and get out there and enjoy it. But again, we are going to be chilly for the weekend. All that full 8-day forecast coming up later.
New information on last night's Jefferson City double homicide is raising red flags. Police arrested 27-year-old Brandon Rapier around 11 this morning. He revealed chilling emotions in the days leading up to the attack. A Facebook post from Monday says, quote, "Me wanting to stab people through the phone, stab, stab, stab." Rapier was charged with second-degree assault for stabbing his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend back in 2014. Police say yesterday's victims had wounds from a sharp object, but said it's too soon to say if the cases are related.
Our agency has a history of making sure we know what we say before we say it, and we believe that's fair to all families and all persons involved.
Police say they'll bring Rapier to the police department for questioning after he's released from the hospital from what seemed to be self-inflicted wounds. Rapier has not officially been charged with murder at this point.
Columbia police say 3 crimes occurred within 30 minutes of each other early last night. 2 gunmen took a woman's purse as she was walking along Paw Print Lane. 15 minutes later, suspects took the wallets of 2 men walking near Clark Lane and Eastwood Drive. 10 minutes after that, suspects attempted to rob a woman on Sapphire Court. That woman's husband believes his wife was randomly targeted. He was shocked to hear what happened. He says she was unhooking a trailer in front of the house.
I just went for a walk. I was thinking maybe I can lure him in. Things would have, been a little different if that would have been me, and not my wife.
No one was hurt at this time. No vehicle description is available, and the investigation is ongoing.
After the break, how much are colleges across the state really charging students? We'll take a look at a Target 8 investigation.
Plus, the reason for a purple sky in Moberly tonight. Right now, the United States has more than $1 trillion in debt from student loans.
That's largely because many people find themselves still paying off their student loan debt years after graduation. Our Target 8 investigative team looked at new college affordability data from across the country. Target 8 Chief Investigator Jamie Gray is here with us now to tell us what her team found about people's ability to go to college.